Before the anime broadcast, we conducted an interview with Fuse, the original author. We asked about why he chose a slime as the protagonist of the novel in the first place, as well as points of interest, such as highlights of the anime.
When I was a university student, I was writing a novel to enter a contest. However, at that time, for various reasons, I couldn't complete it, and I ended up getting a job and becoming a working adult. More than 10 years passed as I settled into my work, and then my desire to write a novel was rekindled. However, I lacked the perseverance and stopped. Then I thought I'd try again on the novel posting website Let's Become a Novelist, where you can update daily, and the work I wrote there is TenSura.
I think this work is also positioned within the currently popular isekai reincarnation genre, but why did you deliberately choose a slime as the protagonist?
Instead of experiencing another world as a human, I had the casual idea, what if you were sent to another world as a monster? When thinking about what kind of monster would be good, I thought a slime, the most familiar creature in fantasy worlds, would be a good choice, so I started writing the novel. At first, I thought I would end the story in about 10 to 30 episodes, but as I wrote, ideas kept coming to me, and it became the long-term serialization it is now.
One feature of the website, Let's Become a Novelist, is that readers can vote with points. But did TenSura have high points from the beginning?
Not at all. At first, readers didn't give any points at all, and I only started getting comments about a week into serialization. By the way, my novel posting is basically one episode per day. It was around the time the Garo tribe appeared that I finally started getting comments from readers, and my motivation went up with, all right, I can do this. I don't have much perseverance, so if I hadn't gotten comments then, I think I would have gotten tired of it and stopped writing.
Do you still remember the person who gave you those comments?
I remember. Actually, it was Mr. Yu Okano, who is drawing Unwanted Undead Adventurer. Encouraged by those comments, I decided to keep going, so I've been able to continue up to today.
What elements did you especially want to write about in this work?
TenSura is praised for its battle scenes, but I actually place more importance on the interactions between characters outside of battle. Basically, when creating a story, I first work on the character's settings. I think about what kind of thoughts drive this character. Is this character serious, careless, or sly? And then move the characters accordingly. Within that, I deepen the positions and thoughts of characters who think it's tough to manage subordinates or responsibility is important. Regarding battles, I make sure that no allied characters die in fights. I think, in novels, war is mentioned easily, but if comrades really died, wouldn't people be unable to move forward? So I pay attention to that aspect.
I heard that you, Fuse-san, are quite a game enthusiast. Which parts of this work were influenced by that?
I've played a lot of tabletop RPGs, so the foundation of the work's setting is inevitably influenced by that. Also, when it comes to combat skills, it's manga. For example, I imagine what it would be like if the special moves from series like Dragon Ball or Yu Yu Hakusho were turned into skills, and I quantify things like skill accuracy and power, then assign skill points to characters. That's how I think about character settings. However, the important thing is the character, and skills are just accessories. If a character is bad at close combat, for instance, they might keep their distance and use combo moves to defeat opponents. I always start by considering the character's individuality and personality first.
Do you decide the characters' positions in the overall story in advance?
No, I don't fix everything rigidly from the start. Of course, I decide the general outline of the story, but I think about each event as it comes. First, I decide what kind of events will happen in the story, then I move the characters in a way appropriate to those events. Conversely, when I can't think of an event, I decide what kind of character I want to move, then imagine what kind of event would happen if I moved this group, and decide based on that. The story is fundamentally based on attractive characters. Rather, the original author's role is close to that of a game master. I prepare events, but if the characters don't move, the story won't start. How well I can create attractive characters changes the story. So I don't want to include throwaway or symbolic characters. Even if they are defeated characters, I try to convey to readers that they had their own thoughts unique to their role.
Since TenSura has many characters and the protagonist Rimuru is set to be strong, isn't it difficult to balance the battle and drama aspects?
Apart from the fine details of the settings, I roughly assign numbers in advance. Like, this character has a combat power of 140,000, that one 1 million, and another 40 million. Based on those numbers, it makes sense that if two characters have similar combat power, either could win. If a character encounters an opponent with an unbeatable number in the story, I think to myself, this guy's done for. I am conscious of creating a flow that doesn't feel unnatural.
Some readers say that the relationship between the protagonist, Rimuru, and his companions has a warm, homey atmosphere, and they like that. Was that something you wanted to depict in the novel?
Yes, it might be difficult in our real world, but at least in the work, I wanted to depict a happy world as a premise. At first, I considered showing that even a happy world can be broken in the novel, but I stopped midway because it didn't fit the world of TenSura.
The protagonist Rimuru's appearance after changing from a slime to a human is androgynous. Your work also features many cute female characters, so why didn't you include the common harem elements often found in the isekai reincarnation genre?
I basically don't like harems. I have the fundamental idea that it's already hard enough to date one girl, so having 3 or 4 would be a huge problem. Even if it's polygamy, I don't think wives would get along with each other, and I feel that mixing a homey atmosphere with romance would probably ruin both.
You made major revisions to TenSura when converting from the web serial novel to the published book version. Why was that?
The web version was a form of trial and error, so I wanted to properly revise it for the book version. When I reread the web version now, I think, how did I keep writing like this? The web version is a work I wrote alone without outside opinions, but the book version involves a significant editor's presence. I think every novelist has their own way of thinking, but for me, the editor is like a trusted second-in-command partner to work with, so their opinions are important and cannot be ignored. Without that trust with the editor, you can't create a good work. I believe the book version's popularity with readers is definitely because my current editor is someone I can trust. Especially regarding the protagonist Rimuru. Since I project a lot of my own thoughts into him, having the editor objectively judge what to do is very important. When I inject too much of my own feelings, for example, there was a time I tried to write a story about being overcharged at a maid cafe. At that time, my editor suggested, "Is it necessary to write that story here? Let's cut it." Sometimes I fight with my editor if I really want to include something, but in that case, I thought, maybe that story isn't needed, so I honestly followed his advice.
When the decision was made to adapt the novel into a manga, the method of expression naturally changes. What kind of requests did you make?
I said, let's create the work carefully for now. However, since it was uncertain whether manga readers would accept the work, I asked them to proceed a bit more quickly in the early parts of the manga compared to the novel. Regarding the explanation of skills, which is a feature in the novel, I suggested to the manga artist, if you write all the skill explanations at once in the manga, the pacing will be bad. So how about writing them like narration at the edge of the panels, so that only those who want to read them can do so?
For the manga version, do you supervise each episode?
At the start of the manga serialization, I conveyed things like, it's better to show this development in this episode, or this character should appear before that character. The manga artist, Taiki Kawakami, also gives his opinions, so we adopt whichever option makes the story more interesting. I think we've gotten quite used to exchanging ideas now, so often I just check the characters' lines without changing the major structure we agreed on beforehand. Also, in the novel version, the protagonist Rimuru's personality is a bit harsh in the beginning, so we decided to soften his personality in the manga. It's the same in the anime. Rimuru is harshest in the web version. The book novel version still has some remnants of that, and the manga and anime versions are the mildest.
When did the talk of adapting the original novel into an anime come about?
Around the summer of 2016. At the end of that year, I met the anime production staff, and around February 2017, the first script meeting was held.
How often do you participate in the anime script meetings?
Only at the first meeting. Kazuyuki Fudeyasu, who was in charge of series composition and script writing, works very quickly, so he sent me the anime script by the day before the meeting. Therefore, before the first meeting started, I wrote down all the points I was concerned about in the script and sent them back to him. So almost all my requests have been reflected in the script. For parts that were not reflected, when I heard explanations from the anime production side, like, we want to do it this way for this reason, I was often convinced. In terms of my anime supervision, I am satisfied with the finished product.
How do you feel about the completed anime after watching it?
I would say it is perfect. The anime's visuals include careful depictions even in small details, which impressed me greatly. Regarding the characters' voices, it feels like this is definitely Rimuru. Of course, since readers of the novel and comic each have their own image of Rimuru's voice, some might feel a bit strange at first. But as the story progresses, his voice will fit perfectly. Also, regarding the character Shizu, she has completely diverged from what I originally intended and has become a heroine. In a good way, I feel the character has expanded.
In a survey titled Highly Anticipated Works of Fall 2018 Anime, this work ranked 5th. I think the attention from anime fans was quite high even before the broadcast.
Since the script has been completed to my satisfaction, the storyboards and key animation will just build on that to complete the work. So I think there are only positive factors left. I'm very grateful that it's being anticipated among many anime, and the staff really worked hard. So it's definitely a finished product that meets expectations. Fans, please look forward to it.